Hey everybody, what's going on? KSA Kris here, the Real Estate Blitz. And we talked about time blocking. We talked about the plan of the day. And what we didn't talk about is building in breaks. So what I've seen whenever I started working with somebody, or if I'm helping somebody and they're building in time blocks, they literally will block out their entire freaking day full of stuff. And then they're like, well, I never get the time blocks done. I never get anything done. Here's why. Because you're not being honest or real with who you are. What you're doing is you're building in blocks of work. Okay, me personally, I don't do more than an hour's worth of block, whatever that block is. There's some blocks that, maybe if you want to cold call for 2 hours, that's okay. But a majority of the time, after about 45 minutes to an hour, because we're human beings, you just start like zone in and you're not as productive. So I actually build in breaks. I give myself 15-minute breaks at a minimum in between each block. Sometimes I'll actually block out, so usually in the afternoon, I block out about an hour, hour and a half to go to the gym. But I actually block out stuff. I even block out my chow or lunch, right? So I build in blocks. I'm going to work on, so I'll go through it like email campaigns. It's 30 minutes. I do 30 minutes. I take a 15-minute break. Then I'm going to do my video work. That's 30 minutes. I take a 15-minute break. Then I'm going to do my cold call session. That's usually 2 hours. And then I'm going to take a 15-minute break. Then I'm going to do my CRM updates. That's 30 minutes. I'm going to take a 15-minute break. Now, if you finish something early, if you complete your time block early, well, great. Now you have a choice. You either start moving your other time blocks up a little bit, or you take a little bit longer of a break. You're building in a little more time for you. But in my opinion, you have to build that time in, and you have to treat your time blocks very regimented. You can't just run time block back to back to back to back. And then hope you'll finish something, because sometimes what we do is we get lost. Sometimes time blocks, like my writing time blocks, usually will go longer than an hour. But this is where you just have to, for me, I personally choose to say, look, I have this time blocked for 6 days this week. That's 6 hours I'm working on this particular thing this week. Yes, I want to get lost on it, but I don't have the available time. Tell you what, if I have time available later today, I will add an extra time block. The bad part about that is, you got to think how long it takes for us to mentally get into a place, right? So for me, it takes me about 15 minutes to get into a zone, whether it's calling, whether it's writing, whether it's whatever it is, right? And you get into that zone. Once you start to get out of that zone, that's why I lock my door. I put a note on my door, like during certain time blocks, I'm like, do not disturb me, because, hey, you got a minute? Every time I'm disturbed, I'm adding an extra 15 minutes of trying to get back into my zone. I'm losing time, right? I'm losing energy. And I may not be in the same brain space where I was previously. So I'm always very protective of that. So if you want to run long into a time block, you should already have your plan of the day, and you should know, I can adjust some stuff. So you know what? I'm going to add an extra half hour or hour. And then after, when I take my break, I'll readjust, then take my break. But you got to systematically set up that time, right? So you're not wearing yourself out or burning yourself out. The hardest part about what we do, a lot of us, we work 6 days a week, 7 days a week. The hardest part is burnout. You get burned out. And on top of that, the reason why I think a lot of people get burned out, this is not an instant gratification business. It's just not. You can't walk out and say, hey, you want to buy this, and somebody gives you money. It's not a typical job where, on the 1st and 15th, I'm going to get paid. So if I don't finish a project, I'm still getting paid. This job is consistency. Being a real estate agent is all about consistency. That's all it is. It's doing good actions consistently for an extended period of time. And the hardest part about that is we can get burned out, right? You get tired. You're like, well, I don't feel like freaking working. I had that last week. I got a little bit out of my routine because I had to go to a funeral, right? And I got a little bit out. I'm like, well, I could take a day. We start justifying to ourselves, I could take a day off. So time block it so you don't get burned. Give yourself time to take a break. And when you're working, focus on working in that time block. You focus on that project and nothing else. Nothing else. Don't give your energy, but this one thing came up. I even turn off my phone. I don't answer my phone. I don't deal with people until after 1 o'clock. That's when I'm available for calls. That's when I do my follow-up calls if people have been calling me. In the mornings, I just don't answer my phone because I'm focused on my time block. Anyways, that's all I got. Do me a favor, like, share, comment. I love the comments. Subscribe to the channel. YouTube, The Real Estate Blitz. Check me out on Facebook as well, Real Estate Blitz. And Instagram, KSA Kris, Kris with a K. That's all I got today. Appreciate y'all. Talk to you later.